What is up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then it's just welcome to my channel, and now welcome back. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you will not be disappointed. You won't be unless, of course, your taste level is just... I'm not going to shame you because we all have, like, shortcomings. And if that's yours, then, I mean, who are me to judge, you know?
Ain't nothing wrong about who are me to judge? Who are me to judge?
To the rest of you, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are well. I am very excited for today's video, and it has nothing to do with the case. I have something for you coming to the channel. The girls, let me tell you something. To the girls and guys who enjoyed the Beyond Belief Factor fiction and have been asking for it to come back, y'all, I'm so excited to be bringing it back to you in a way that feels good to me. We'll get into all of that at the end of the case I'm about to discuss with you guys because it's a lot to unpack. Today I will not be doing my makeup. I'm doing like maintenance. Mama got to get these eyebrows together and do her skincare before she draws up. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's get right into that. So in June of 1986, Eva Gray, a young mother of 3 who has a husband, decides that she is gonna leave her husband and relocate to Anchorage, Alaska. Currently they live in Hawaii. They live in Hawaii on one of the little islands. And the problem that Eva has with her husband is that while he is a great father, he does not help the household financially. And she is tired of figuring out ways to support their small growing family. So she packs up her 3 children, their 3 children, and relocates to Anchorage, Alaska. And she doesn't go alone. She has her mother, Cynthia, that goes with her to help her take care of the kids and all of the things. Now, shortly after getting settled in Alaska, she finds out that she is in fact 3 months pregnant with her now 4th child. But again, like I said, she has her mother there. Together, child, they just decide they're gonna do their best between all these kids. And their best is what they do. Fast forward, Eva is able to get a stable job, get a place, and all of the things in Alaska were going well for a while. Fast forward about 9 years into their stay, things become a bit rocky for Eva. She is no longer in this good place financially, and she begins to feel like maybe she should just move back home to Hawaii. There she had a bigger support system. She felt like she could likely make more money, and overall Hawaii is just looking more like the better option. But when she decides she wants to go back to Hawaii, not everybody is on board with it. Daisha, who is now 19, she does not want to move back to Hawaii. And the thing is, Daisha was old enough. She was about 9 when they left Hawaii. So she kind of had the opportunity to form an opinion about the place before they left. And she is liking Alaska a whole lot better. She asked Eva if she could stay behind. And I mean, for one, Daisha is now 19, so she is technically an adult that could make that decision on her own. But she did care about her mother's opinion. And Eva fully supported it. Eva understands the why, how her daughter has started to build a life of her own there, and all of the reasons that Daisha wanted to stay made sense. In addition to all of that, Cynthia, Eva's elderly mother, will be staying behind in Alaska as well. And Daisha being there means that her elderly mother, Grandma Cynthia, will not be staying behind on her own. So Eva packs up all of her children and she moves them back to Hawaii. And Kira, the youngest daughter, the one that was born in Alaska, she takes this very hard. Alaska is all she knew. All of her little friends were there, and she did not want to leave, but unlike Daisha, she did not have a choice. Kira takes the move pretty hard. Randomly being in this different place that was so different than what she had known all her life was a huge culture shock. And Sheena, the second oldest daughter, she wasn't all that fond of Hawaii either. After giving Hawaii a short stay and a little chance, she decides to ask her mother if she too could live in Alaska full time. And she and her grandmother, Cynthia, were extremely close. Like, that was the closest grandchild to Cynthia. Sheena did not like being away from her grandmother. And with Cynthia being much older now and her time likely being limited, Sheena makes a valid argument about why she should be allowed the chance to return home to Alaska and live with her grandma. And Daisha tells Eva, the mother, that she does not mind looking after her sister. So if she wanted to return her to Alaska, it would be perfectly fine. And the 2 sisters will just stay with grandma, which she ultimately decides to do. And now we have the 2 oldest daughters living with the grandmother, Cynthia. Now, not long after returning to Alaska, Sheena meets this boy that she likes named Terrell. Daisha will call Eva, their mom, and complain that Sheena was spending a lot of time with this boy, that he was no good for her at all. She did not approve of the relationship. And she warns the mom that, hey girl, I'm about to break them up. I'm about to forbid your daughter from talking to this boy. So she might call you. And I just want you to know what's going on. And the mom is on the same page. She is trusting Daisha's judgment completely, and she is in full support of the plan. But Daisha is a little too late, child, because Sheena done got pregnant by this boy. Terrell is family now. Unfortunately, before the baby is born on June 4th of 2002, Sheena goes to check in on her grandmother, and she finds her laying lifeless in her bed. And with how close they were, this was a huge blow for Sheena, especially being the one to find her. Like, it was very traumatic. And unfortunately, just a couple months later, the family suffers another huge devastating blow, one that was very unexpected. Daisha, the oldest sister, is at a party with some friends, and they're drinking, having a nice good old time. One of her friends asks her to drive them home after the party, which Daisha does. But unfortunately, Daisha suffers a fatal car accident before she could make it home herself. This just broke everybody's heart. Whatever was left of it after grandma. And Kira, who is now 15, takes it the hardest. Almost immediately after they lost Daisha, Kira's behavior becomes nasty, okay? She is very disrespectful. She stays out late. Sometimes she does not come home at all. She is skipping school, not doing schoolwork when she is there. And all of the time, she wants to run away. Eva tries everything that she can think of to get a handle on her daughter, but nothing seems to work. And it gets to the point where she is willing to try literally anything. So she ultimately decides to return her daughter to Alaska, where she had been kicking and screaming, wanting to go anyway. Eva's hope was that if I give you this one little thing, you'll act right. So now it is Eva and her two daughters, Sheena and Kira, back in Alaska. And Eva knew that like the acting out was because of her grief. Kira was extremely close to Daisha. She really looked up to her. She admired her. Obviously, Kira was taking it pretty hard. And it was also Eva's hope that she would listen to Sheena the way she used to listen to Daisha. I mean, Sheena got her boyfriend and that little baby, but for the most part, she's pretty level-headed, and she too wants to help guide her younger sister. The move proved to be a good one in the beginning. For the first year or so, there are no issues out of Kira. Kira goes to school. Kira is respectful. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, all of the things. Kira comes home. Kira is not running away. And she was, in fact, listening to her older sister, Sheena. But unfortunately, this only lasted for a little while and was over right around the time that Kira got her a little boyfriend, 23-year-old Mario Page. For the record, the age of consent in Alaska is 16, so in the eyes of the law, Mario was doing no wrong in regard to Kira's age. We'll get into the other stuff. And I guess Kira and her sister had similar types, because Mario, just like Terrell, is viewed as bad news. Now, Mario drives a big black Escalade. He's very flashy. He has all of the money. And Mario gets all of his money from selling drugs. So that's why they don't like Mario. When I tell you Sheena walked so Kira could run, and yeah, her, Terrell, and that baby, they're all still together. Eva tried to explain to her daughter that this is not the type of man that you need to attach yourself to, and the reasons why. She tells her daughter that this relationship really could only lead to trouble, and she herself could potentially end up behind bars if something goes wrong. But Kira is not trying to hear that. She tells her mother that she is in love, that she loves Mario, dangerously in love, if you will, and she basically was ready to risk all of the things for their love. And you already know how it goes. The more they try to deter her from seeing Mario, the closer she seems to get to him, and instead pulls away from the family. Eva becomes so concerned about her daughter's well-being and how bad things could potentially get with her being a first lady of the streets, that she is willing to again pack up her life and relocate to keep her daughter away from Mario. She had attempted to talk to Mario to ask him to leave her daughter alone, but he wasn't trying to do that either, because the age of consent is 16 in Alaska, Eva did not have a leg to stand on there. And instead of Sheena being the older sister that is standing with mom and advising her younger sister to choose a better partner, one that is not a drug dealer, the two sisters have actually bonded over their shared experiences with their mother not accepting their partner. Sheena is on Kira's side of things. She helps her sneak to see Mario. She helps her lie. She enables all of the shenanigans related to this man. And as far as Sheena is concerned, mom just needs to stay out of their love life because that's their business. So when all else fails, Eva takes her daughter and she moves back to Hawaii with her. And I don't know if this broke Kira's little soul or what, but when she got back to Hawaii, she was the most unproblematic child. Not only was she going to school every day, she was going to school and excelling in her studies, not staying out late, not running away, and she was doing everything that was being asked of her without complaining. And Eva could not have been happier. She, in her mind, this solidified the fact that she had made the right choice. Now, after about a year or so of cooperation, Sheena asks Eva if Kira could come spend some time with her just over the school break, come visit her in Alaska. She'll keep an eye out on her. And because Kira had been so well behaved, she felt like her daughter deserved it. She had been so good. She is currently on a break from school. She has nothing better to do, so why not? But the only stipulation that Eva put on her agreeing to allow Kira to go back to Alaska is that she does not see Mario. She is not to hang out with him. She is not to talk to him on the phone. She is not to send him so much as a text message. And Kira is like, yeah, of course not. Like, I'm just going to see my sister. And Sheena agrees to make sure that they don't see each other. But y'all know Kira was going to see that boy. And y'all know Sheena was going to let her, which is what ultimately happens. The two of them link right back up and pick up exactly where they left off. And that's not the drama. That's like on the drama totem pole, that's somewhere near the bottom, okay? Terrell does not work. He stays home watching the children. He and Sheena now have 2 children. So he watches the kids while Sheena is at work. That's their dynamic, right? Well, now Kira is hanging around the house a lot too because she's there. She doesn't have a job. She's just there on school break. She and Terrell, they get to bonding, forming their own little relationship. And the thing is, I can't say for sure that they slept together. I don't know that. However, those type of speculations and rumors begin to swirl about Kira and Terrell. Word on the street was that the two of them had an adult exchange, and we know Mario is out in the street, so he catches wind of this, and he is not very happy about it. He was already jealous. So this really gets underneath his skin, and the two men actually have an altercation about it. They didn't physically get to fighting, but it was right there, and Kira stepped in the middle of them to break it up. And ever since then, Terrell and Mario had friction. On the early morning of May 8th of 2005, which was Mother's Day, a man awakens to what he believes to have been several, when I say several, like 5 to 6 gunshots. He decides to go on about his morning as he would any other morning, but of course that was kind of interesting. Shortly after hearing these sounds, he leaves his home and he is driving past an ATV trail when he sees a person laid out on it, and the person is very obviously deceased. He immediately calls for help, and when police come out, they are able to positively identify the person right away because their wallet was in their front pocket and their wallet had their ID in it. And the person is 23-year-old Terrell. Officers first call his mother to break the news to her, which I can't imagine how that felt bright and early on Mother's Day. That is insanely personal. And in their conversation, she informs them that he did not live home with her. He actually lived with his girlfriend Sheena and their 2 kids. So they call Sheena next to break the news to her. And according to the officer, she is a lot less emotional and distraught than his mother was, like significantly, to a point where it was odd to the officer. Now, I believe the mother had informed the police about the issue that Terrell had with Mario, suggesting that he could potentially be the person behind this. So when they ask Sheena about it and like the dynamic of the household and how it's been since, she informs them that her sister has not been staying with her since, that she and Mario have actually been staying with a friend of Mario's, James. James is a much older guy who has been like a father figure to Mario. So they go out to James's house, tap on his door a couple of times, but nobody answers it. The detectives leave their card for them to be contacted and they leave the premises. Meanwhile, Terrell's brothers show up at Mario's brother's house and they don't want to hurt him specifically, but I guess they were like trying to send a message to Mario. And on May 12th, just 4 days after Terrell had been discovered, detectives finally receive a call back from James. And James is frantic. He tells detectives that he's ready to talk, but I guess he didn't have a ride, so he asked them to come by and pick him up. When they get there, he is standing outside of his house. He is very anxious. He gets into the car and he tells them to go to just drive, okay, and ask questions later. He's very panicked, very paranoid, and he is telling the detectives that they are watching him and likely trying to take him out. And the detectives is like, who? And when the detectives ask who, like, why do you think somebody is trying to take you out and watching you? James tells them that this suspicious vehicle has been parked outside of his house for the last couple of days. And child, the detectives is like, girl, that was us. It was the detectives. They explained to James that he has been under surveillance. Nobody's trying to hurt him, at least not the people that he thinks have been trying to hurt him. So I'm sure that was a relief to hear. And once they get him relaxed, they take him down to grab a bite to eat so they can have a conversation. During which James tells them about Mario being behind Terrell's murder and how on April 11th, just about 1 month prior, Mario had gone out of town on a business trip. He went to California, and anytime Mario was out of town, Kira would always keep his car, the Escalade that was her behind the wheel, whenever he was away. Well, while she was driving the car, one good day she was looking through it for something and she comes across a stash, okay? A stash of Mario's product, and it is thousands of dollars worth. Now, instead of covering it back up with a little jacket or something like I would have, well, I wouldn't be in this Escalade in the first place, but that's neither here nor there. Kira decides that she is going to take it and use it to help her sister and Terrell out because financially, it's been a little rocky for them. So Kira steals it. And when she goes to her sister, Sheena, and Terrell about it, both are down with coordinating a plan. Terrell will sell it and Sheena will put the money toward their household bills, whatever other expenses. And this was enough to really help them out. So Kira is proud of herself. She, in her mind, she is helping out her sister's family. Sheena will be able to get grocery and just all of the things the kids need. Well, that proved to have been a terrible idea, especially considering how volatile the relationship between Mario and Terrell was. And honestly, if I were Kira, like, I would believe that Mario had put it there as a test. Like, there would be no convincing me otherwise that this man think that I might steal or is trying to see if I would steal, you know? But Kira's 16. Now, James tells all of this to the detectives, and he also admits to being Mario's business partner, so he knows the ins and outs of Mario's business comings and goings as well, and he is ready to sing like Mariah Carey after Thanksgiving. And well, it turns out that that stash left in the Escalade was not some forgotten about stash at all. And at the end of Mario's trip, he comes home looking for it. Of course, it's not there. And when he does not find it, he goes directly to Miss Kira. Right away, Kira admits to everything. And she promises Mario that she will go back and get his product from Terrell. And well, Terrell no longer had it all. Neither did he have the funds to account for the missing portion. Needless to say, Mario is pissed. And he tells Kira that because she actually caused this issue, she needed to make it right. So together they agree on a plan. They pick Terrell up early on the morning of Mother's Day. I'm not sure where Terrell thought they were going, but not long after pulling off, Mario has the driver pull over on this ATV trail and forces Terrell out of the vehicle. There's Mario, 2 other guys, and there's also Kira there surrounding Terrell. And Mario reminds Kira that this is the only one thing that she can do to make the situation right. He passes her a gun. She takes it. She lets the first shot off into Terrell. Then she promises him that she will look after his kids that he has with Sheena. And then she empties the clip. And her mama said that Terrell was bad news and not good for her kid. But if you just take a second to compare Kira's actions to Terrell's, child. After the incident, Mario had admitted everything to James, and now here he is admitting all of the things to the detectives. So they go out and they arrest both Kira and Mario. They also go pick up the other two guys that were there as well. And all of them are hauled down to a nice little comfy jail cell. Kira goes to trial and she is convicted of murder in the first degree. According to her, she claimed that she felt coerced by Mario. She felt pressured to do it, and that's the only reason that she did. And she was too afraid of him to refuse to pull the trigger. And so she is sentenced to 65 years in prison. And she has an opportunity to shave 1/3 of her sentence off with good behavior. So let's see. Let's see about how old she was. 16 when she went in there. Y'all know Kira is good for a little good behavior act, child. So if she manages to pull it off, she'll be roughly 59, 60 when she gets out. Mario Page is also convicted, but he is convicted of second-degree murder. He also had a kidnapping charge. In total, he was sentenced to 90 years in prison with 25 years suspended, so really only serving 65, and will likely spend the last 25 on parole or a little piece of probation. Now, as long as he does not break the rules, he could stay in the free world, but you know how that goes. If you violate, they're gonna send you back. What was really interesting to me is that as of 2020, which was 15 years past the incident, past the death, Eva had never, not once, discussed the crime with Kira. Like, not once in that 15-year span. But she was talking to her daughter regularly, visiting her all the time. Y'all want to hear how they talk on the phone? Just a little bit. I got a little piece of the call.
Hi, honey girl. Love you, honey. And I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. And he's saying shut him up, and I shot him in the knee. And then he started screaming and screaming. And then they're all screaming, shut him up, shut him up. That's what I remember hearing, and then I shot him in the head.
And Sheena, despite the detective's initial perception of her grief and her reaction to the news when they called, she had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to Terrell. She didn't know any of the planning. She knew nothing. She had no part. And she actually has not spoken to her sister at all since the day that she was arrested. Damn, Sheena, I hope you're doing well, girl, because that's a lot to have gone through if you think about all of the things. The grandma, her finding the grandma, her sister, like, child, and then this with the other sister. A lot. Yeah, that pretty much sums up the case of Kira Gray and her boyfriend, Mario Page. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, before y'all get up out of here, before y'all scram, like I said in the beginning, I have something to share with you guys, and I'm so excited about it. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. If you want to create content, if you want to do anything, do it. Don't wait and feel like, oh, it has to be perfect before I start. No, just start doing it. Just start doing it. A while back on my channel, I started this series called Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. It was modeled after the show where I would tell multiple stories. You had to guess which ones were false, which one were a figment of my imagination, right? I loved the idea. I love the concept. I love it. And a couple of people actually have reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to start doing this content, and have since started doing it on their channels. I think it's very cool. But the way I was doing it, I just wasn't pleased with the delivery. And so I just wanted to take my baby off the shelf until I had a way to present it that I loved. I was never pleased or satisfied with the execution. I decided to try animation. Animation is so hard. Oh my God. Animation is not easy. Y'all, I was so intimidated. I had the idea and I was like, wow, if I could learn animation and marry the two, it would be perfect, right? But I was so intimidated. It's not easy at all. It's a lot of work. But in the background, I have been learning the process. I spent a lot of money on this software, and I'm about to have to make another purchase on another software that I need to bundle on top of it. And so I just really hope everybody likes it. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. I have spent long days and nights working on this, learning the software, and I am finally in a place where I'm ready to premiere it to you guys. And I just love y'all so much because y'all really created a safe space for me on my channel, and I'm so grateful for that because I don't feel the pressure to be perfect. Like, to do my best, yes, because I want to do my best for y'all and I want to be proud of anything that I put out for y'all. I still have like the space to grow, and so I just want to say, it's not perfect. There are some elements that I'm not 100% happy with that I'm going to tweak. What I have now to premiere, I'm very, very proud of, very happy with, and I'm so excited to finally be sharing it with y'all. It will be Thursday's video, so the true crime content is not going anywhere and it's not changing. we still gonna be here every Tuesday, okay? Talking about other people's business. On Thursday will be the animated fact or fiction videos where you will hear and see several stories, some of which will be actual events and some of which will be me flexing my creative writing muscle, which I love to do. And yeah, you'll see the stories and you'll have to guess which ones are true, which ones are not. And of course, at the end of the video, I will reveal to you the answers. And I'm just so proud of myself for pushing past that initial feeling of intimidation that I felt. I was very intimidated. Like getting past that, bringing this idea to fruition, to life. All that being said, I want to say the same thing to you. Look, baby, I'm still trying new things. Am I a little afraid? Yes, because, child, I don't want y'all to hate it. I don't want y'all not to like it. But I'm very confident in it. So I feel like even if the people who are currently here don't like it, its audience will find it, right? So to you, don't be scared. Do that thing. And don't feel like you have to wait on it to be perfect. You don't. Perfection is... girl, it's not real, okay? Allow yourself space to continue to grow and grow as you go. All right, I ain't Iyanla. I can't fix nobody's life. I just got that little piece of information, that little jewel. And so without further ado, y'all, I've been working on this. Oh my God. I've been working on this so long. Oh, this is some of the reasons why I've been coming on here on Wednesday and Friday instead of Tuesday and Thursday. This is the reason why last week I was like, see you Thursday on a Wednesday, and y'all didn't see me until this week. I've been doing my best. I've been in here like the Muppet Baby Chef, okay? Without further ado, here is a sneak peek. This is a preview of one of the stories in this coming Thursday's video. It is already complete, already done, and it will go live at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I didn't believe in ghosts, not really. Sure, I'd heard stories, but they were just that, stories. Until last winter, when I moved into this little house on the edge of the woods. The rent was cheap, and I was broke. It wasn't much, just a one-bedroom place, a bit run down, but it had a certain charm. The landlord had seemed a little too eager to hand me the keys, though, and when I asked about the house's history, he dodged the question with a nervous laugh. The first night was quiet mostly. The wind howled through the trees, and the house creaked as old houses do. But as I lay in bed, I started hearing tapping, soft and rhythmic like someone drumming their fingers on the wall. I told myself it was just the wind and tried to force myself to sleep, but the silence was unnerving. It was the kind of silence that seemed alive, pressing in from every corner. I chalked it up to nerves. New place, new sounds, no big deal. Unable to sleep, I decided to unpack a few boxes and make good of this time. I made a cup of tea, trying my best to relax my nerves. And by midnight, I was exhausted and ready to pass out, so I settled into bed trying my best to fall asleep. That's when I heard it, a faint sound, like someone dragging something heavy across the floorboards, and it came from above me. The problem? There wasn't an above me. The house didn't have an attic or a second level. I froze, listening, my heart pounding in my chest. The sound continued, slow and deliberate, moving from one end of the ceiling to the other. I wanted to believe it was just the house settling, but this obviously wasn't that. It was too steady and too purposeful. I turned on the flashlight and crept out of bed. I guess sometimes men really do come in handy. I tried to tell myself I was being ridiculous. Old houses make weird noises. That's all it was. But when I stepped into the hallway, the sound stopped, and again there was that deafening, uncomfortable silence.
All right. I can't get y'all too much. I can't get y'all too much. Now, if you're interested to know what all happened and whether or not this was actually based on a true event or not, you're going to have to come back here and meet me, baby, on Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's that on that. Let me know your thoughts down below on everything. I'm so excited. I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all enjoy it. I cannot wait for it to premiere. Like, oh, my head hurts just thinking about it. I love you guys so much. Like the video before you leave, please. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe if you have not. As always, I genuinely appreciate you spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace. Y'all, why I'm a snake mama? I'm a snake mama. That happened. I have a baby python. Her name is Lilith. She is named after the astrological Lilith, not the Lilith in the Bible. You won't actually see Lilith. You won't be able to see her. I know a lot of the girls are afraid of snakes, so I didn't want to show her. But I will show you her enclosure. It's so pretty. I love her enclosure so much. Like, I feel like it's just so pretty, so beautiful, and it's just so fitting for the name and the lore, right? You want to show them your new sister, girl? Here it is. It's so cute. I love it so much. She got her little RIP the patriarchy tombstone with the little skull. She my girl or whatever. The dogs are so unimpressed. They don't care anything about the snake. She's very curious about them though. I don't know if my girl is sizing them up as prey or not. Cause when I say she be interested, like head up looking like, who is that with the fur on them? She better not be trying to size up my babies. She won't get a chance to get to them anyway. She is all the time in her enclosure unless I'm handling her. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my girl or whatever. And y'all, why? So I always, anytime I go by and I see her, you know, I might do a little twerk for her. I might do a little dance, a little performance. And the thing is, I know they're nocturnal and they're like, oh, handle them at night. Baby, I be asleep at night. For the most part, I try to handle her at night. But it's been plenty of times I look in there and I see her looking at me. And I just grab her, girl. We just be, you know, doing things girls do. Then I started to think about it. I said, girl, you always up. No matter what time of day. I look in that enclosure, girl. I see your little beady eyes. So then I thought to Google whether or not snakes close their eyes. And they don't, child. So y'all might need to pray for Lilith. I'm doing my best as a snake parent. I'm new to this. But yeah, apparently they don't ever close their eyes. They don't have eyelids. They sleep with their eyes open, technically. And it's like all those times that I just grabbed her thinking she was looking at me and she might have literally been asleep. It's crazy. I'm doing my best. I'm learning as I go. If you got some tips, let me know. Don't let me know because people give so many different tips when you get a snake. I've heard don't feed them in the enclosure. I've heard feed them in the enclosure. I've heard they need small, tight spaces because they're afraid and big spaces will stress them out. I've heard they don't get stressed out and that's just a myth. Well, about the space rather. I've heard pythons don't like to climb. This heifer I got likes to climb. So it's just like, girl, never mind. Don't give me no tips. We just gon' hopefully we make it. I'm just praying for the best at this point, you know. I'm letting the spirit lead me. All right. I got a headache. Like, what is that? So in June of 1980, where is my tweezers? And relocates to Anchorage, Alaska. And she, ouch. Daisha, her oldest daughter, who is now 19, a year, girl. She understands the wife, not the wife, the why. Eva understands the why. She doesn't mind looking after her. Did I say that already? I don't know. I'm not picking you up. I need my hands clean to put on the things on my face. Please, please, I beg of thee. Girl, I got one more cream to put on and then I can touch your little dirty body. 1, 2, you girl. 3 gonna send you to hell. No, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna kill you. And Sheena got her little boyfriend, 23-year-old Mario Page. And at this time, did I say Sheena? I meant Kira. 23-year-old Mario Page. Now, at the time, she was 16. Let me see what the statute of limitations is. Wait a minute. What am I talking about statutes of limitations? Alaska consenting. Okay. I should have got me some tea. My voice is like, my throat is so scratchy and feels so dry. Y'all, I went to my friend's graduation at TSU. And when I say, like, I'm not a loud person. And I feel like my voice does not get loud. Like, I was hearing people yell down to the graduation and I'm like, wow, my voice don't go that far. I sat there gearing myself up to make the loudest voice I could muster. Y'all, I took the deepest breath and screamed to the top of my lungs and it cut off after like 3 seconds. It was, and then I said, and reached down in my soul real deep and screamed again. And the scream I scrumped.
We did it.
Hurt my vocal cords so bad. So bad. I knew I was in trouble, girl. I should be sipping some tea, girl, because it's been like 4 days since, and girl, I still ain't recouped. But anyway, for a good cause, I'll do it again, my girl. Congratulations to my girl. I know that's my girl. Look at my girl. Look at my girl. She a graduate. Anyway, back to the story. Eva agrees, and she lets Kira go back to Hawaii. No, she's in Hawaii. What am I talking about? She is not a let me stutter Stanley. She tells them that her sister has girl, whose accent is that? James is a much older guy who has been like a father figure to Mario. He tells them to go to the drive. Did I just stutter again? I did. To just drive Mario was actually out on town. Out on town? What? Out of town on business is what I tried to say. My brain shot and screwed that. James also admits to the the crime with Kira. The crime with Kira. Like,